very hard boy, so it's
like the wind blowing its way, it'll help you a little bit.
okay, yeah. You can sit here. Okay. My name is. Can you hear? Is it working? This?
No, it's not
No?
working.
No.
No.
We got a technical person. Knows how to.
That's okay. So, my name is Raúl Villanueva. I'm the entomologist that works in Princeton, so that's in the western part of the state, and I work with insects. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the insects that I found running in different areas of Kentucky, not only here at the university. I went to some part of the west, the middle of the state, and also on the central part. So we have a couple of insects that they're very abundant, and the most abundant are the Ledus black, the tarnished black bug. So this is an insect that you can find very early during the season. The problem is that right now we don't know what kind of damage it's going to cause to even the seeds or to the flower. But they were the most. Hello. Okay, it's working now. There you go. But I don't know what's that sound.
It's like an alarm.
There may or may not be severe weather in the area.
Okay, so, but there are insects that are, some of them specialize for different parts of the plant. Some affect the flower, some affect the foliage, and some affect the roots. So we are going to start by the roots. On the roots we have two types of insects. One are the gnat flies. These are flies that actually the larva requires high humidity. Usually these are problems on greenhouses, and sometimes they are transferred from greenhouses to the field. Okay? So we have these insects here in Kentucky. The foliage, we have several insects. So one of the most common in other parts is the Eurasian borer, Hemp borer. So we have not found that here in Kentucky yet, but that's an insect that can go into the stem and start to damage the plant from the bottom. But not only that, it also affects the flowers. So far, all the samples that I received, the different hemp areas that I visit, I have not found any of those ones. So, but lepidopterans or armyworms, we have a lot here in Kentucky. Some that we don't know yet. We have the corn earworm, we have the yellow striped armyworm that is very common in different areas. And also, we don't have a pesticide that affects these armyworms. So this is a list of pesticides, insecticides and pesticides that are regulated for insects in Kentucky. So we have 10 products. If you read these 10 products, actually none of them are very specific to worms. So hopefully with the announcement that are given today, we're going to have some of those BTs maybe. We're going to have maybe the viruses. So those are going to be effective for these lepidopterans. Okay? So also, in addition to this list, I'm going to pass starting over here. There is a set collection of the insects that I have here in Kentucky. So you can see those insects. On this part, there are some that there are known. These ones are the ladybugs, these are natural enemies, so they are very beneficial. And these two here, those are two steam bugs that are beneficial. So the rest of them are pests. So we're going to start over this side while I talk. Okay? So, one of the pests that is very abundant right now, or it was at the beginning also, is the hemp aphid.
Okay.
And this is an insect that comes again from the greenhouses to your fields. So potentially there can be, it can cause some damage. Another way to identify this insect in your field is that you can see a lot of ladybugs. If you see a lot of ladybugs in your plants, most likely you are going to have probably this pest. So because these ladybugs are feeding on these insects. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. So, how many of you have seen the russet mites? Really? How many? Okay. So russet mites are really tiny organisms. They are not insects. They're acaria. So they are 200 microns or less than that. Okay. So in addition to that, they have only 2 pairs of legs compared to the other mite species that they have 3 or 4. But in addition to that, these mites have these appendages at the end that in other groups of this kind of species are used as a spring. So they basically raise the tail and then move it, and then that's how it starts to move with the wind. That's one of the ways of dispersing this. So when you try to see this mite, you may use this one if you have very good eyes. But usually this is very hard to see even with this. Is a 10x magnification. Or you are going to need a 20x or maybe a high magnification than that. So on Amazon you can find some electronic magnifier lenses that are probably $5, $10, and they go up to 60x or even more than that. So you can, if you buy one of those, you can be able to see that much. Okay. Again, this mite can affect the flowers and can affect the foliage. In the foliage, when you see this mite, you're going to see the plant, that the leaves are kind of holding. And also, when we have very high populations, you're going to see that these mites are kind of, the leaves are all deformed and the flowers are very shrink and small. Okay? Again, one of the sources of this mite is the origin of your plants. Usually these are pests in greenhouses. So when you buy your plants, you check that they don't have this mite. Otherwise you're going to be disseminating them. Another big issue here in Kentucky, I believe, is that this is a mite problem in western parts of the state, of the USA, Oregon, California, that only affects greenhouses. But here we have higher humidity outside. So in greenhouses we have usually 70% of humidity, and that's a problem. But when they are moved outside in California or Oregon, the humidity is below 65%, even 50%. So that humidity basically is a factor that controls the population of these aphids on that region. But here, what's the humidity? And probably during all the growing area, around 70, 75%?
Yes, 65 to 70, 70.
So we are going to have this problem because that's one of the reasons. How I know that stuff? Because when I did my PhD, when I did my master degree, I studied this type of aphids on apples and also on citrus, on different areas. So, and for example, in Florida, these mites are a problem in citrus, whereas in California you don't find, or in Texas you don't find these mites and that's because of the humidity. Okay? So that's an issue that you need to be aware. In addition, also this mite can be found at very high altitudes, actually. How they disseminate is they are being taken by the wind. So there are some samples that have done maybe 20 years, 30 years ago that they found these mites at 2,000-3,000 meters above sea level. Okay. Any questions?
I'm curious, have you guys had any fire ants or anything else?
No, because fire ants are not present in Kentucky. Where are you?
Alabama.
Where are you? Okay, Alabama. Okay. Yeah. Actually, there's only one area in Kentucky that we have fire ants, and that's a lake between the lakes, western Kentucky. But there's no hemp there. But I heard that there's some damages caused by fire ants.
Yes, all over statewide.
Okay. Yeah, but we don't have fire ants here in Kentucky.
Yeah, no, that's...
Any other questions? Okay, going back to this list. So it's important to know that if you see the list for miticides that control this one. We are going to see in this list that most of the miticides are controlling spider mites, and the only thing that the first one say control various types of mites, it doesn't say russet mites. So that's why it's important to verify the origins of your plants and try to check if the plants, you look on the back of your plants, and if they have russet mite, you can probably even arrange the price of the product that you're buying. On the insect collection that I have there, also you can see two groups of insects that are important. One is the steambugs, and the other one is the Japanese and the green June bug beetles. So I was put in this location because you see these plants. Some of these are hemp plants, this one in the front, and some of these ones is nut plants that were really affected by the Japanese and June bugs. June bugs were the most abundant here. So all this defoliation was done by the June bugs. So visiting a farmer in Kentucky, in the western part of Kentucky, this is a farmer that has soybeans, they have corn, and he put his plant in the middle of corn. So it was different fields of corn around, but the hemp plants were in the middle. So he did that to protect the plants from other people. That's a reasonable question. So, but what's interesting in that case is that these plants didn't have issues with Japanese beetles or June bugs. So I believe what happened there, and we need to test that stuff, this corn worked as a trap plants that were coming, the June bugs were coming there and they were not feeding on the plants. So that's something that maybe needs to be done in the future. It's still to be investigated. So if you plant maybe 2 rows of corn around your hemp, hemp is a very valuable crop, so you can probably make some control of those ones. This is something that I observed. We need to test that stuff. Probably next year happen again, I'm going to tell you this is correct, this is the way to do that. That's something that I want to pass. The other things also, we have the steambugs. So we have several species of steambugs here. So the most abundant were the green steambugs. And green steambugs can go into your flowers later in the season. They are present until October probably. And also we have the brown marmorated steambug. That species is only present from Elizabethtown to the east. And also we have 2 species of steambugs that are natural enemies. So soldier steambugs that are there. So they are very pointed, and so you can find those. Again, also we have several species of ladybugs. So we try to protect those ones. If you do, for example, applications of pesticides, some of these pesticides that you have here are oils. So they are based on organic garlic oil, crop oil, rosemary oil. So those products that need to be used very early during the morning or very late during the season. Why? Because the oil can burn your plants. Okay, that's something that's important also, if you are using these products. Any questions?
That list of chemicals on the KDA website.
That list is the KDA website. Have you heard about the Kentucky Pest newsletter? Have you? So in the Kentucky Pest newsletter, you can find that list also. You can print out that one.
That's all KDA approved.
That's all KDA approved.
Yes.
I only transplant. So this is a basic resume of what's the KDA.
Yes.
Okay? This is an easy way because you can have the products, you have the compounds, so you have the tags.
Right.
So that's something that you don't have on the KDA.
Well, I know the organic side being safe insect killer. It's on the Kentucky
Yeah, those are
KDA approved list.
These are approved for the Kentucky Department of Agriculture.
Okay.
Okay?
I just recognize that one, but anyway, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can access this going to the Kentucky Pest News of the University of Kentucky. You're going to find this list there like you have here. Any more? Nothing? Okay, something that also I was asked early is about what happens when you see a lot of corn flies. You know the corn flies that are being bothering you, or you find a lot of ladybugs in your field. What's happening there? Why? And the answer to that is probably you have a lot of these mites maybe, or you may have a lot of aphids or even whiteflies. So aphids and whiteflies actually are prey for these coccinellids, and that's something that you need to see. So you can, for these aphids actually, you grab some of the leaves here. There is some aphids in these plants. So you're going to see the aphids and you're going to see the that's the reason why you have a lot of natural insects. Okay. Any other questions?
What's been the most difficult to control?
I think the most difficult to control are going to be the lepidopterans or the caterpillars. So because right now we don't have any products that are specific to those ones.
Okay.
And also the rusted mites probably. Because even if you have don't have rusted mites outside, if you have a dry season, for example, we are not going to have that much. But those are indoor, in greenhouses. If you produce plants for selling, that's going to be a very high issue.
Okay.
Any other question? No? Okay. So another thing that we are also looking is that there are some unknown insects that are being affected in hemp. For example, we have some wild worms, and also we are having some other kind of beetles that are affecting the lower part of the plant. They go into the plant, they enter the stem, and then later the plants are becoming dry. So have you seen any of these plants in your fields? Oh, that's a tiger moth that is there. So what is the box? Yeah, so this is a defoliator. So this is the Virginian tiger moth, and I'm going to show you. So I found those all across the different areas of Kentucky also. So it's the white moth that is in that cage. Actually, I grabbed that tiger moth here in this part. I took to western Kentucky, and you see the big cocoon that is there. That's the pupa that this insect was there. So from the larva to the pupa, and then the white moth that is in that box is the adult form of that one. So what do you have, Hemp?
Webster County.
Okay. Okay, yeah, we're close.
It's not too far.
So thank you for showing me that. So this is the one that he has in his horn. So the worm is a kind of a fuzzy worm that is feeding on the foliage. So it's here in this bottle, but it lost all the hairs. And then this worm converts into this pupa. Actually, the pupa is inside, but it has this kind of nice, I don't know how to call it, puparium. And then from this puparium it came this worm, this lepidoptera. This is the Virginia tiger moth. So you see here. So this is the moth that is on that picture that we show us. So that's part of the life cycle of this insect.
I haven't seen but one. And I've been all over.
I have seen a lot of those ones. Whenever I went, I found those ones.
Okay.
That's a pest that I don't know how much damage it's going to do, but it's present across different areas of Kentucky.